that's nuts. And one of the things he did say was it's a good thing that they are not in the same league, because if they were in the same league together, he goes, it could get kind of hairy. Because that's the other thing. I wanted to talk about the intensity of these minor league spring training games. When it comes to, I mean, you sometimes see it in the major league level. The minor league level, yes and no, but I'll give you an example. We were watching a low A game between the Giants and the Seattle Mariners, and what happened was I guess, it's kind of like, I want to say, high school rules or college rules. Not the way they play, but the not the rules themselves, but just the etiquettes. Where in high school the team who's at bat goes and chases the ball, or that type of stuff. Well, the on-deck circle or the on-deck batter, I should say, normally goes and gets the ball if a catcher misses it, and then tosses it back to the umpire or whatever. So one of the Mariners guys are on deck, and the Giants are out on the field, and then the ball goes by the Giants catcher, so the ball's just sitting there. The on-deck batter isn't going to get it, because it's one of these things where during the season they don't have to do that. They don't have to do it in any minor league that they're in. They've got ball boys and bat boys and volunteers and stuff like that. Well, they don't have those out there on the backfield. They're playing on like a high school field. So the umpire went to go get it, and so one of the coaches says, no, we'll get it. And they made like a big deal about it. They're like, we'll get it. Don't worry about it, on deck batter. We'll get the ball. And so they kind of little banter back and forth, and I'm like, guys, it's just a spring training game. Chill out. Just somebody go get the ball. Who cares? But it was just kind of funny to see that this little banter going between each other, and so it goes to that intensity. Sometimes that intensity gets there, and going back to what we were saying about the Silverhawks playing the Rockies team, which is like I think they've got their low A team is in the Sally League as well, but it's kind of interesting to say. I'm sure it can get a little testy from time to time. So it was interesting to talk to Mark. We're going to try to talk to Mark throughout the season as well. Also talk to John Mayberry, son or the father. We've had John Mayberry Jr. on. We interviewed him last year when he was with the Rangers. He's now with the Phillies organization. We talked to John about his son. I guess his son might get a shot this year. AAA, most likely with the Phillies, if not AAA, with the big clubs. So good luck to John Mayberry Jr. Like I said, we did have him on last year. And one cool thing about John Mayberry Sr. I need to discuss, because he was out there. He's in uniform, but he's not really. He's kind of an unofficial coach. He's not really doing anything specific. He's not a roving instructor or anything like that. He's just kind of a mentor. He was out there because I asked him, like, well, what are you doing? He just being a spring training instructor, and he said that he was just kind of there as a mentor to try to mentor the young players to keep them in line, and just to kind of give them hope that, hey, just keep doing the things you're going to do, and he helped out from a mechanical standpoint if somebody had a hitting question.
Well, anybody that's familiar with Royals history, they know that John Mayberry is like royalty. I mean, like George Brett or Cookie Rojas or Dennis Leonard or any of these guys. I mean, I remember, Tim, when we were first walking into the Royals complex, and they had those kind of semi-indoor batting cages, and they had that big mural with all those former Royals, and John Mayberry was prominently displayed, like towards the middle, I think. And he's considered royalty among the Royals.
Well, yeah, he's in their Hall of Fame. He's in their the Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame. And the one thing that I will say for John Mayberry was that he walked up to the cage, he walked up to the backstop, and he saw some fans there, and he's like, "Hey, fans, how you guys doing?" And he walked out, and he took pictures, he signed autographs. I mean, he was like a goodwill ambassador for the Royals. And that was the other thing about the Royals that I found very interesting. The Kansas City Royals organization as a whole has gone out of their way. It's gone out of their way to be nice to people. I mean, not just me or Todd or anybody in the media, but just the fans in general. They were being very, very nice to them, to everybody. And it's one of these things where you wonder if they're just making sure that they're going to try to get their try to get people to the ballpark. And it was kind of cool to see that these guys, that Mayberry was being real nice to everybody, went out and signed autographs, took pictures with whoever wanted them, and everything like that. So that was cool of him to do, and it was nice to talk to him. Also met Dennis Savage, SanDiegoSports.net, I believe is his website. He's a Padres expert when it comes to the prospects. We're going to try to get Dennis on here in the future as well. Spoke to MILBRadio.com friend Nuke, Aaron Nakula, manager now of the Sacramento River Cats or River Kings, whatever they are. Sometimes I forget. I got it written down here, but I'm sorry, Stockton. What did I say? Sacramento? No, that's AAA. I gave him an early promotion. Stockton. He's at Stockton with the Stockton Ports. I gave him an early promotion. He'll like that. He'll like that I promoted him all the way up to AAA. But anyways, we talked with him, and he talked about a different philosophy that the A's are taking this year with their minor league spring training, which I found kind of interesting. He said this year they're having a focus on conditioning. So they're focusing on their conditioning and working from making sure the guys are running from field to field and that type of stuff. So it was interesting to say, and I asked him, I said, you guys haven't done that before? And he goes, every year we do something a little different, where there's a focus, a little bit of a different focus, and this year it's conditioning. So I thought that was interesting. We also spoke with another favorite of MILBRadio.com, Scott Emo Emerson. Emo is getting ready for another good season. So other observations. I saw something kind of cool.
We were supposed to hook up with Emo, weren't we?
It didn't work out, but whatever. We were supposed to go out for some adult beverages, but that didn't happen. Oh well, maybe next time. A couple other interesting observations. I saw something kind of cool, and it's one of these things where they've got these pitching for when they pitch them, or I'm sorry, when the pitchers were working on the back bullpens. They put these ropes up, these strings, like they have these strings in the ground that's a strike zone. So the catchers would have to catch the ball, and that would be kind of the simulated batter. It wasn't one of those guys you saw Major League that Charlie Sheen threw the head off of or knocked the head off of, but they have those. But they had these ropes, these strings that they would try to throw strikes to. So I thought that was kind of cool. If I'm a catcher and it hits a string, it's just a tiny, like almost an elastic band of some sort. So I don't think it really would do much to the ball if it hit it. But it was just interesting.
I saw that, and I also thought it was kind of cool. You remember when we were back there in the backfield with the Royals camp, and they would undo those tables, and those guys would do the hand weight after they had thrown a couple of innings?
Yep.
I thought that was interesting, too. They'd keep them on there for about 20 minutes just to work their shoulders and muscles out. And
yep, that was
cool. These guys value their commodities.
Well, they do, and there's definitely a lot of training, and the trainers are really in with the weights and stuff like that. So, anyways, well, that's kind of our spring training observation, and hopefully you kind of got some insight into what's going on, and lots of cool things we got that coming on the show from some of these things that we saw and people we talked to. So we are looking forward to that. So going to be back here in just a second. We're going to take a break here. Let me catch my breath and do all this fun stuff. Remember, we got Mike Moustakas, Brian Rupp, Terry Kennedy coming up here after the break. So stick with us here, MILBRadio.com. Back in a flash.